super forgetful. You see, I got gas. I got gas here earlier, and it's prepaid. Another gas station is not prepaid. And I got $20 in fuel, right? And they drove off, and they never pumped it, and somebody else pumped my fuel. And so by the time by the time I realized I paid for it and I drove off without ever pumping it, somebody else had already visited the pump and took my fuel. And this right here, this is the honest to God reason why I don't work for other people. I can't keep a job because I forget what I'm doing from one moment to the next. Oftentimes, and then I'll be good. Everything will be fine. This has been like this since I was a little kid. Okay. Or maybe you're getting older, and no, this has always been. Since the time I can remember. I'm going, all of a sudden it's like somebody hits a switch and totally forget what's going on. Or I just forget like one little something. One little grain or nugget of data gets lost. And yeah, so somebody followed right behind me. They were watching my screw up, and that's the problem with having a job, is other employees and or customers are very cognizant and are aware of like what's going on. I don't know how to explain that one either. And they see me, and it's like, follow that guy around, he's gonna forget something. We'll go pick up the pieces right behind him. And that's what it's like to have Asperger's. It's ADHD, but it's a little bit something more. Because ADHD, which I also have, how could you tell the difference? I don't know. If you had that life, you would know, like, what system is operating, and that's definitely a combination of ADHD and having Asperger's, which is part of the autism spectrum. And yeah, I got going down the roadway. Right when I crossed the railroad tracks, I realized, hey, wait a minute. I decided to look at the gas gauge, and I'm like, $20 in this big tank should have at least gone up a quarter of a tank, right? 20 bucks. Cost about $80 to fill this thing. So yeah, this is not unusual. I have this gas station company, Speedway. I have several locations on my contacts numbers because this is not the first time I've done this. I have done this over and over and over. This is the third time I've done that this week. But luckily, the times before, I only got $5 or $10 worth of gas. that part of my mind is completely, it's never works. I've always had the hardest time in grade school because of that. I would like forget, randomly I would forget things. And then teachers would always claim, oh, convenient memory. Like, you know, I'd remember like something that happened 8 years ago. Or I can't remember something I just did a minute ago. I do notice when I'm more stressed out, or when I got more things on my mind than normal, I tend to forget more things, if that makes sense. And no, I never have, like, my mind is never totally empty of stuff. It's always pretty much filled to capacity of things I want to do, things that I need to do, things I'm dreaming of doing, stuff that I have to get to, what I'm doing tomorrow, what I'm doing now, what did I do earlier, I don't know. So, in my life, I end up inventing workarounds, okay? So, people laugh at me for getting $5 or $10 worth of gas at a time, but there's a reason behind that. There's a couple of reasons behind that. You know, if I'm driving the truck and I'm looking around for scrap, what if I don't find anything? I need a solid reason to stop the truck and get out at least, instead of sitting in a chair all day. It's not good to sit on your butt all day. This ends up becoming your office. A tin cab, you know, with glass all the way around. Yep. So, pretty much, right there is my claim right there, why I can't never seem to keep a job. I always run into the same wall at any job that I go to. I can't, you know, the boss tries to work with me here, let me go and do this. Here we'll go and try and you know, like the body shop that I used to work at. Here you leave the keys here. They even made like a hook rack for all the keys for the different cars and stuff like that. And you know what I would do? I would end up taking the keys home with me. And then the customer would show up for the car and there was no keys available for their car. And they were pissed off. And I was 20 miles away from work.